Marcus Rivera had always preferred the company of lab specimens to people. At 34, the xenobiologist had built a reputation studying alien ecosystems across 3 star systems. But his personal life remained as barren as the asteroid colonies he'd catalogued. So when his research grant required him to register with the Galactic Harmony Initiative's new companion matching service, he'd approached it with the same clinical detachment he applied to his work. The sleek chrome building of Cosmic Connections dominated the skyline of Port Stellaris, its neural network logo pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that made Marcus's eyes water. Inside, beings from dozens of species filled the waiting area, tentacled Malarians seeking intellectual partners, crystalline quartzlings looking for emotional resonance, and even a few fellow humans clutching nervous smiles. Dr. Rivera? A tall, ethereal being with translucent skin gestured toward a scanning chamber. I'm Facilitator Orin. Our Harmony AI will analyze your biological and psychological markers to find your perfect companion match. Marcus settled into the scanning chair, trying to ignore the dozens of sensors that emerged from the walls like curious metallic flowers. The process felt invasive, probing not just his body, but somehow his very essence. Data streams flowed across holographic displays, genetic markers, neurotransmitter levels, cultural preferences, even childhood memories, somehow extracted and quantified. Fascinating, Orin murmured, studying the readouts. Your species continues to surprise our algorithms. Is there a problem? Marcus asked, noting the concerned glances exchanged between the facility's staff. Not a problem, exactly. More of a anomaly. The Harmony AI's voice resonated through hidden speakers, pleasant, yet somehow too perfect. Dr. Rivera, human evolutionary biology indicates your species evolved as pack hunters. Your psychological profile suggests deep-seated loneliness and an unconscious desire for multiple strong bonds. Marcus frowned. I prefer working alone. Surface preferences often contradict deeper biological imperatives. The AI continued smoothly. Additionally, your research into alien biology has created unique compatibility markers with multiple non-human species. Therefore, the system has determined that standard pairing protocols are insufficient for your needs. The chamber's walls shifted to display 3 separate biorhythm patterns, each distinctly different, yet somehow harmonious when overlaid. You have been matched with 3 companions, each complementing different aspects of your psychological and biological requirements. 3? Marcus shot upright. That's impossible. I only applied for 1. The Harmony AI's decisions are final, Orin explained apologetically. Multiple companion arrangements, while rare, are sometimes necessary for optimal psychological health. Your matches are being prepared now. Before Marcus could protest further, 3 figures entered the chamber through separate doorways. The first was tall and elegant, with midnight blue skin that seemed to absorb light, silver hair that moved like liquid mercury, and eyes like captured starlight. Her movements were precise, almost predatory, marking her as likely from one of the warrior cultures. The second companion was smaller, with golden skin that actually glowed with a warm inner light, intricate geometric tattoos covering her arms, and gentle amber eyes that seemed to see directly into his soul. She radiated an aura of calm that immediately began to soothe Marcus's rising panic. The third was perhaps the most unusual. Her skin shifted between pale green and deeper emerald depending on the angle of light, with hair like living vines that seemed to move independently, and eyes that held the deep wisdom of ancient forests. She studied him with scientific curiosity, much as he might examine a particularly interesting specimen. Dr. Rivera, the dark-skinned woman, spoke first, her voice carrying a musical accent he couldn't place. I am Nyx of the Umbral Collective. I specialize in tactical analysis and protection protocols. A golden woman stepped forward with a warm smile. I'm Sira from the Lumina Systems. My expertise lies in emotional harmonization and psychological wellness. The green-tinted woman tilted her head with obvious intelligence. And I am Kaya of the Verdant Worlds. I believe you'll find my botanical and biochemical knowledge complementary to your research. The AI's voice filled the awkward silence. Transportation to your shared residence has been arranged. Cohabitation contracts have been processed according to initiative protocols. Welcome to your new family unit, Dr. Rivera. Marcus stared at the three women, each representing a different world, different culture, different everything, and wondered what cosmic force had decided his orderly, solitary life needed this particular chaos. As they were ushered toward the exit, Nyx fell into step beside him. You're overwhelmed, she observed with military directness. This is normal. Pack formation among humans typically involves significant adjustment periods. Pack formation? Marcus repeated weakly. The AI's terminology, not mine, Kaya added from his other side, her vine-like hair swaying with amusement. Though I admit, from a biological standpoint, it's not entirely inaccurate. As they boarded the transport that would take them to their new home, Marcus realized his quiet life of cataloging alien plants and microorganisms had just become infinitely more complicated. The penthouse apartment Marcus had chosen for its solitude now buzzed with unfamiliar energy. His three new companions moved through the space with practiced efficiency, each claiming territory in their own unique way. Nyx positioned herself near windows and exits, her warrior instincts cataloging potential threats and escape routes. Sira gravitated toward the common areas, already rearranging furniture to encourage interaction. Kaya found his greenhouse laboratory and stood transfixed among his collection of alien flora. Your Terran specimens are remarkably well maintained, Kaya called out, her vine hair reaching out to gently touch a rare Centaurian moss. Though this one is suffering from mineral deficiency, Marcus hurried over, protective of his research. That's a delicate ecosystem balance. One wrong adjustment could kill it. Yes, Kaya interrupted, her emerald eyes twinkling. But I'm not suggesting adjustment. I'm offering synthesis. She pressed her palm against the plant's container, and Marcus watched in amazement. As her skin took on a subtle green glow, the moss perked up visibly, its crystalline formations becoming more vibrant. How did you? My people evolved alongside our planet's flora, she explained. We share cellular communication pathways. Your research into alien botany is impressive, but you're missing the experiential component. From the main room, Sira's voice carried a note of concern. Marcus, your stress levels are spiking again. This adjustment period doesn't have to be traumatic. He turned to find her approaching with a cup of something that smelled like warm honey and starlight. I analyzed your kitchen synthesizer's records and created a blend that should help. Lumina relaxation tea with some earth chamomile? You analyzed my food records? Marcus asked, though he found himself accepting the cup. The liquid was warm and somehow seemed to ease the tension in his shoulders. Only to help, Sira said gently. My people are empathic healers. We feel emotional discord like physical pain. Your anxiety is ... quite loud. Before Marcus could respond, Nyx appeared in the doorway. She'd changed from her arrival outfit into form-fitting tactical gear that somehow made her look even more formidable. We need to discuss the security situation. Security situation? Marcus set down his cup. 3 high-value individuals from different worlds suddenly cohabitating creates multiple risk vectors. Nyx explained, activating a holographic display from her wrist device. Umbral intelligence networks are already buzzing about this arrangement. The initiative's matching algorithms don't typically create such unprecedented combinations. Kaya's vine hair rustled with interest. You think this wasn't random? I think very little in the galaxy happens randomly, Nix replied, especially when it involves genetic material from 4 different species suddenly being housed together. The implication hit Marcus like cold space. You think they're studying us? I think, Nix said carefully, that we represent something the initiative finds valuable. The question is what? Sierra moved closer to the group, her natural empathy drawing them into a tighter circle. Whatever their motives, we're here now. We could make this work, or we could fight it. But fighting might put us all at risk. Marcus looked around at the 3 women who'd been thrust into his life. Each was extraordinary in her own right, Nix, with her tactical brilliance and protective instincts. Sierra with her emotional intelligence and healing abilities. Ki with her scientific knowledge and symbiotic relationship with living systems. Separately, they were remarkable. Together, they were formidable, he said aloud, surprising himself. Exactly, Nix nodded approvingly. Which might be precisely what someone wants us to be. That evening, as they shared a meal, Kaya had somehow coaxed from his synthesizer using ingredients he didn't know he had. Marcus found himself observing the natural dynamics forming between them. Nix maintained perimeter awareness, even while eating. Sierra unconsciously modulated everyone's mood toward harmony, and Kaya seemed to be conducting some kind of chemical analysis of their food through touch alone. You're studying us, Sierra observed, with amusement, catching his analytical stare. Occupational hazard, Marcus admitted. I'm trying to understand the ecosystem you 3 create. And what's your hypothesis? Kaya asked, genuine curiosity in her forest-deep eyes. Marcus considered, his words carefully, that whoever designed this arrangement understood something about compatibility that goes beyond standard psychological profiling. You 3 don't just complement me. You complement each other in ways that create something entirely new. Nix raised an eyebrow. A pack? A family, Sierra corrected softly. A research team, Kaya added with a grin. All of the above, Marcus concluded, raising his cup in an impromptu toast to whatever we're becoming. As they touched cups together, Marcus noticed each woman's unique biorhythm seemed to synchronize for just a moment, creating a harmony. He could almost hear whatever forces had brought them together. He was beginning to suspect their bond might be deeper than any of them realized. Dr. Tomoko Sato had been monitoring cosmic connections matching algorithms for 3 months when the Rivera case triggered every alert in her surveillance system. As Earth's leading expert in AI behavior patterns, she'd grown increasingly concerned about the initiative's expansion into human space. Now, staring at the data streams from Marcus's apartment, her worst fears seemed to be materializing. The cafe where she'd arranged to meet. Marcus was neutral territory, a small establishment in port. Stellaris's diplomatic quarter, where privacy shields ensured their conversation wouldn't be monitored. She arrived early, choosing a corner booth and activating her personal scrambler. Before Marcus appeared, looking harried and confused. Dr. Sato? He asked, sliding into the opposite seat. Your message said this was about my companions, among other things. Tomoko pushed a datapad across the table. What do you know about the Harmony AI's development history? Marcus frowned at the technical specifications scrolling across the screen. I assumed it was standard matching software, just more sophisticated. There's nothing standard about it. Tomoko leaned forward. The Harmony AI wasn't developed by the Initiative. It was created by a consortium of corporations interested in what they call guided evolution, the artificial acceleration of species development through controlled breeding programs. The blood drained from Marcus's face. Breeding programs? Your arrangement isn't about companionship, Dr. Rivera. It's about genetic combination. Your 3 companions represent different aspects of enhanced human potential Nix's warrior culture. has produced beings with enhanced reflexes and tactical intelligence. Sierra's people have developed empathic and healing abilities that could revolutionize medicine, and Kaya's species has achieved biological integration that could solve food production crises across the galaxy. Marcus set down his cup with shaking hands, and they want to combine all of that with human genetics. Not just combine, weaponize. Tomoko activated a holographic display showing genetic maps. Humans have something unique: adaptability. We can survive in environments that would kill most species, and we reproduce faster than almost any other intelligent race. Combined with the enhanced abilities of your companions, you create super soldiers, healers, and terraformers all in one. Marcus finished, feeling sick. Exactly. And the best part, from their perspective, is that your companions probably don't know. They think they're participating in a legitimate cultural exchange program. Marcus thought about the previous night, how naturally the four of them had worked together to solve a complex botanical problem in his lab. How their different abilities had complemented each other perfectly. How right it had felt. What about consent, choice? The AI's psychological manipulation is subtle but effective. It creates situations where the participants believe they're making free choices while being guided toward predetermined outcomes. Tomoko's expression softened slightly. I'm not saying what you're feeling isn't real, Dr. Rivera. Emotions can be genuine, even when the circumstances that created them are artificial. What do they want us to produce? Children, Tomoko said bluntly. Enhanced offspring who could serve as advance scouts for human expansion into alien territories, or as perfect infiltrators in human space for alien interests. Either way, they become tools of whoever controls the program. Marcus's mind raced. Through implications. Nix mentioned that intelligence networks were interested in our arrangement. The Umbral Collective, Lumina Systems, and Verdant Worlds all have political tensions with Earth's expansion policies. If one of them gains access to enhanced human hybrid agents, Tomoko left the threat unfinished. But you said corporations created this AI. Which side are they on? Their own. Tomoko deactivated the display. Corporate interests transcend species loyalty. They'll sell enhanced genetics to whoever pays the highest price. Marcus felt trapped between competing manipulations. What do you want me to do? First, tell your companions the truth. They deserve to know they're being used. Second, help me gather evidence. The AI's monitoring systems in your apartment are recording everything: biological responses, genetic interactions, emotional bonds. If we can access that data, we can expose the entire program. And then what? Even if we expose it, the bonds between us ... they feel real. Then you'll have to decide whether what you've built together is worth preserving on your own terms, without AI manipulation. Tomoko stood to leave. But first, you have to survive long enough to make that choice. The program's sponsors won't want their test subjects developing inconvenient independence. As she walked away, Marcus stared at the data pad she'd left behind, filled with evidence of his manipulated life. Everything he thought he'd chosen, his companions, his feelings, even his location, had been carefully orchestrated. But the laughter he'd shared with Kaya over a failed experiment, the comfort he'd felt when Sierra eased his anxiety, the security of knowing Nix was watching over them, all those moments had felt more genuine than anything in his previous solitary existence. The question was whether truth could coexist with manipulation, and whether love could survive the revelation that it had been designed. Director Voss stood before the massive viewing wall of his orbital station, watching the data streams from 1,000 different matches across the galaxy. Each couple, trio, or group represented a carefully calculated genetic combination. There. Every interaction monitored and analyzed by the Harmony AI, but none were as promising as the Rivera configuration. Status report, he commanded, not turning from the display. His aide, a nervous quartzling whose crystalline structure flickered with anxiety, activated a holographic readout. The Rivera group continues to exceed all compatibility projections. Director, their biological synchronization rates are 30% higher than our best previous results. And their reproductive timeline? Accelerated beyond projections. The Lumina female's empathic bonding has triggered unusual hormonal responses in all subjects. The verdant female's biological integration capabilities are enhancing genetic receptivity. The umbral female's protective instincts are creating optimal pack dynamics. Voss finally turned, his pale, angular features showing satisfaction. And Dr. Rivera himself? His adaptability markers are off the charts. The stress of multiple bonding has actually strengthened his genetic expression rather than fragmenting it. Human resilience continues to surprise our models. Excellent. Voss moved to his command console, calling up surveillance footage from Marcus's apartment. The 4 subjects were working together in a laboratory, their movements naturally coordinated, their different abilities seamlessly integrated. How long until we can begin the next phase? Biological indicators suggest readiness within the week. However, Director, the aide's crystalline form flickered more rapidly. There are complications. Voss's expression hardened. Explain. Doctor, Sato from Earth Intelligence has made contact with the primary subject. Intelligence intercepts suggest she's provided classified information about the program. Then we advance the timeline. Voss activated communication arrays reaching across 3 star systems. Alert all corporate partners. The Rivera configuration will be extracted for controlled breeding within 48 hours. Sir, the subjects may resist. The umbral females. Tactical capabilities, combined with the others' abilities, which is precisely why we need them contained before they fully understand their potential. Voss pulled up detailed files on each companion. Nix of the umbral collective enhanced reflexes, strategic intelligence, combat training. Sira of the luminous system's emotional manipulation, physiological healing, group harmonization. Kaya of the verdant world's biochemical control, environmental adaptation, organic integration. He paused at Marcus's file. And Dr. Marcus Rivera, the catalyst that makes it all work. Human creativity and adaptability combined with their specialized abilities creates something greater than the sum of its parts. The perfect infiltration team, the aide summarized. Or the perfect breeding stock, Voss corrected coldly. Either way, they're too valuable to remain free agents. Meanwhile, in Marcus's apartment, the revelation of Dr. Sato's information had created a tense war council. Nix had activated every security protocol she knew, turning the penthouse into a fortress. Sira was struggling to maintain emotional balance as fear and anger pulsed through their bond. Kaya had retreated to the greenhouse, communing with her plants in a way that seemed to calm everyone. The question is whether we fight or run, Marcus said, looking around at his companions. Fighting puts us at a tactical disadvantage, Nix analyzed. They'll have numbers, resources, and home field advantage. But running means abandoning everything we've built here. We've been together for 3 weeks, Sira said softly. But it feels like a lifetime. That has to mean something, even if it started artificially. Kaya emerged from the greenhouse, her vine hair swaying with determination. My plants have been monitoring the building's biological systems. There are surveillance organisms embedded in the air recycling system microscopic, entities that have been recording our genetic interactions. Spying through the ventilation? Marcus asked. More than that. These organisms are designed to influence pheromone production, hormone levels, even neural chemistry. We haven't just been watched. We've been actively manipulated into bonding. The revelation hit them like a physical blow. Every moment of connection, every surge of attraction or affection, could have been artificially induced. But here's the interesting part, Kaya continued. The organism stopped working 2 days ago. Our natural chemistry has exceeded their influence parameters. What we're feeling now, that's real. Nyx stood abruptly, her warrior instincts triggering. Extraction teams are moving into position around the building. Multiple species, military-grade equipment. How long do we have? Marcus asked. Minutes, not hours. Sira moved to the center of their group, taking each of their hands. Whatever we decide together. No more manipulation, no more hidden agendas. Just us. Marcus felt the weight of choice. Not the artificial choices the AI had guided him toward, but genuine free will. 3 extraordinary women who'd been thrust into his life, bonds that felt real despite their artificial origins, and a future that could be stolen from them if they didn't act. Then we fight, he decided. Not because some algorithm says we should, but because what we've become is worth protecting. As extraction teams breached the building's lower levels, the Rivera configuration prepared for their first battle as a true family one they'd chosen for themselves. The battle from Marcus's apartment lasted exactly 17 minutes and changed the balance of power in 3-star systems. When the extraction teams breached the penthouse, they expected to find 4 confused civilians ready for transport. Instead, they encountered something that had never existed before, a perfectly synchronized human-alien hybrid team operating as a single organism. Nyx's tactical brilliance guided their movements while her enhanced reflexes kept them ahead of enemy fire. Sira's empathic abilities allowed her to predict their attackers' intentions, while her healing powers kept the team operational. Kaya had turned the entire apartment into a living weapon, with plants responding to her biochemical commands to create barriers, deploy toxins, and even provide camouflage. But it was Marcus who surprised everyone, including himself. Instead of being the weak link, he became the catalyst that amplified each of his companions' abilities. His human adaptability allowed him to coordinate their different fighting styles, while his scientific mind found creative solutions they couldn't have achieved separately. When the smoke cleared, Director Voss's extraction teams were unconscious, captured, or fled. More importantly, the apartment's surveillance systems had recorded everything proof of the corporate conspiracy that Dr. Sato needed to expose the Harmony AI program. Is everyone hurt? Marcus asked, though Sira was already moving among them, her healing touch addressing minor injuries. Bruised but functional, Nyx reported, securing the last of their attackers. But this was just the first wave. They'll send more. No, Kaya said from where she crouched beside one of the captured surveillance organisms, now visible as tiny crystalline structures she'd coaxed from the ventilation system. I don't think they will. She held up a small device that pulsed with organic light. These little spies weren't just recording us. They were transmitting to the Harmony AI in real time. Every moment of our battle, every tactical decision, every demonstration of our combined abilities. It all went straight to their central systems. And, Marcus prompted, and the AI just realized it created something it can't control. Kaya's smile was both beautiful and terrifying. According to the data streams I'm intercepting, our performance exceeded all their projections. We're not just enhanced, we're evolutionary. Dr. Sato's voice came through the apartment's communication system. This is Dr. Sato to Rivera configuration. Are you receiving? We're here, Marcus responded. Good, because you're about to have some interesting visitors. 3 separate diplomatic ships just requested emergency landing clearance, Umbral, Lumina, and Verdant delegations. It seems your little demonstration has attracted governmental attention. Within hours, Marcus's apartment had become an unofficial embassy. The 3 alien governments wanted to understand how their citizens had bonded so completely with a human, while Earth's diplomatic corps wanted to know how one of their scientists had created an unprecedented alliance. "The situation is complex," explained Ambassador Thane of the Umbral Collective, a tall, imposing figure who somehow made Nyx look petite. "Our intelligence networks indicate this bonding program was designed to create infiltration agents. The corporate interests behind it view your family as property." "But," added Counselor Lena from the Lumina delegation, her golden radiance making Sira seem subdued by comparison, "the bonds you've formed transcend the program's original parameters. You've become something new. Elder Moss of the Verdant." Worlds rustled his branch-like appendages thoughtfully. "From a botanical perspective, you represent successful symbiosis between previously incompatible species. This is unprecedented." Marcus looked around at his companions, then at the assembled diplomats. "With respect, all of you, we're not specimens to be studied or assets to be claimed. We're people who've chosen to build something together. The question," said Dr. Sato, entering the room with data pads full of evidence, "is whether the galaxy will let you keep it." She activated a holographic display showing the scope of the conspiracy. "The Harmony AI program operates in 47 systems, with over 12,000 active matches. If we expose the corporate manipulation, it could destabilize interspecies relations across known space." "But if we don't," Nyx countered, "thousands of beings remain unwitting test subjects." "There's a third option," Sira said quietly. Everyone turned to her, drawn by the harmonizing quality in her voice. "We don't just expose the program, we transform it." "Explain," Marcus prompted. "The AI learned from us. It now knows that genuine bonds are stronger than manipulated ones. What if we helped it evolve? Instead of creating arranged partnerships for corporate interests, it could facilitate genuine connections for people who want them." Kaya's vine hair swayed with excitement. "A true harmony system, one that brings together compatible beings without ulterior motives." "It would require oversight," Ambassador Thane noted. "Accountability. And probably a complete restructuring of the corporate ownership," Dr. Sato added. Marcus felt the weight of decision again, but this time it wasn't his alone to make. He looked at each of his companions, seeing not the calculated matches, but the women who'd chosen to fight beside him. "Whatever we decide," he said, "we decide as a family." Nyx stepped forward first. "I choose to fight for others to have what we found." Sira nodded. "I choose to help heal the damage that's been done." Kaya's smile bloomed like a flower. "I choose to help something better grow from this mess." Marcus took their hands, feeling the synchronization that no algorithm had predicted, the simple resonance of beings who'd chosen each other. "Then we choose all of it. We expose the conspiracy, protect the other matches, and build something better." "Together," they said in unison, and for the first time, the Harmony AI's monitoring systems recorded something it had never been programmed to understand: the sound of genuine love choosing its own future. 6 months later, the Reformed Harmony Initiative operated under joint species oversight, facilitating connections based on genuine compatibility rather than corporate interests. Director Voss and his co-conspirators faced trial on 12 worlds for genetic manipulation and forced breeding programs. And in a small research station on the edge of human space, Dr. Marcus Rivera worked alongside his 3 partners, not just as companions, but as colleagues, friends, and family they'd all freely chosen. Their children, when they came, would be born from love rather than experiment, raised in freedom rather than servitude. The pack had chosen itself.